All right, guys, Green Bay Packers training camp is back for day 4 after an off day yesterday and is the last day before pads come on. So we have another practice today, no pads, and then things start to really ramp up and football really is back tomorrow when the pads come on. The Packers practice today, tomorrow, Sunday, then they're off Monday. Still no Jordan Love extension, so no Jordan Love at practice, but nonetheless, there are highlights from today's practice I have for you guys to react to and break down. If you happen to be a new viewer to this channel and just stumbled upon this video, I'd highly suggest going down and clicking subscribe if first you enjoy the video, but you also want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers. I post Packers content every single day the Packers practice, and of course this goes into the season. We'll be posting content throughout the entire season for the Green Bay Packers. So if you want to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers, you'll find it here right on this channel. Go down and hit subscribe. All right, so let's dive right into it and bring up the screen. And in this first clip, you see both Caleb Jones and Donovan Jennings. Now, this is important because they have yet to practice, and today was their first day back. Both were on the PUP or NFI to start training camp. Caleb Jones and Donovan Jennings. Jennings being one of the undrafted free agents this season from this draft, probably the one with the most opportunity to make this roster. The Packers signed him to that 3-year deal as an undrafted free agent, which isn't something that happens too often. Plus, Donovan Jennings, in my opinion, had the talent to be drafted. And then when he went undrafted, the fact that the Packers were able to get him on this roster was very intriguing because I think this guy can even be a starting guard in the future in the NFL. So excited to see him back at practice and be able to showcase, his skill and his ability. And then also Caleb Jones. The Packers have been missing this guy. I feel like they've been kind of rotating a bunch of tackles in and out with, Andre Dillard, who hasn't been good. Kadeem Delfort filled in at right tackle yesterday and today and actually has looked pretty good. But Caleb Jones is another guy that ton of potential, man. So excited to see him back on the practice field. Here's a clip of quarterback Michael Pratt on the left side there throwing a wheel route to running back number 1, Josh Jacobs. On the bottom, Sean Clifford was throwing the same route to A.J. Dillon, but we saw the pass to Josh Jacobs. And this is going to be a huge part of the Packers offense as well. Not only Josh Jacobs running the football, but catching the football. And he is a very viable option through the air. I've said this a bunch when you take a look at the stats the last 3 seasons. Yes, his receptions dropped off a little bit last year, but he also didn't play a full season. But when you compare it to Aaron Jones overall the last 3 seasons, receptions and yards, they're pretty close. Obviously not receiving touchdowns, but Josh Jacobs is a very capable and viable receiving running back. So the Packers are going to be able to utilize him in plenty of different ways. And you also see A.J. Dillon down there. He didn't get to see the route, but he can be used in the receiving game as well. Then we have a clip of Luke Musgrave doing a blocking drill. Really haven't heard much of the tight ends, and it's a group without Tucker Kraft right now. Tucker Kraft has yet to return to practice, so it's really been the Luke Musgrave show in terms of tight end number 1. Of course, behind him you see Tyler Davis, and then I believe Ben Sims behind Tyler Davis there. Those are the 3 tight ends that are going to make the roster, in my opinion. They have some others like Messiah Swinson and Joel Wilson on this roster, but I don't believe those guys will be making the roster. But really excited for Tucker Kraft to come back and finally seeing something of Luke Musgrave. It's not that he hasn't done anything in practice or he's looked bad, just we haven't heard much of the tight ends. I'm sure we'll start to hear about them, maybe see some clips here tomorrow and future practices when the pads are on, and maybe we get some film of 11v11s. If anyone's at the practices or plans on going to the practice tomorrow with the pads on and you get any film of 11v11s, even though you're not supposed to, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter. Here's a clip of both Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks. Christian Watson catching a ball from Sean Clifford over the middle. Wicks running kind of a delayed release to a wheel, catching a ball from third, but 4th quarterback Jacob Eason. Dontavian Wicks has been very impressive in training camp so far. Definitely stepped up early on in the absence of Jaden Reed. Now Jaden Reed is back, but Tay Wicks has been consistently making plays. Kind of the one guy that has been making plays on this offense in terms of the offense actually moving the ball, because it hasn't happened often. The defense has definitely won these practices. Watson in the reigning practice had some drop issues, but Tay Wicks has been very, very solid. So is Romeo Dobbs. A lot of these receivers, have looked good, and it's hard to tell too much when you've, Sean Clifford throwing them the football, but hopefully Jordan Love is back soon and he can start to get to work with these guys. Here's Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, again, kind of working on route combos here. We have Christian Watson kind of running a kind of a level system here. You know, Jaden Reed underneath, Christian Watson over top, both running out routes. Jaden Reed returned to practice 2 days ago with his toe injury, so nothing serious. He only missed 2 days, or the start of 2 days of training camp, so that's good to see him back, and he looks great. Looks like there's no issue there. Christian Watson so far still looks fine, like he's not re-injuring his hamstring at this point yet. When the pads come on tomorrow, that'll be, you know, a big telltale sign, and a nice route by Watson here against, you know, it's just against a trainer or a coach, but in terms of the breakdown and the cut to the outside at the back of the end zone line there, a good job sinking his hips there. So nice to see Christian Watson staying healthy out here, at least for now. Then we have some offensive lineman clips. We see Royce Newman and Kadeem Telfort hitting the sled here. First, Kadeem Telfort has lined up as like right tackle number 1 in 11v11s. Then you also see Jacob Monk here and Andre Dillard pushing the sled. Nice to see some offensive lineman clips. Excited for the pads to come on for these guys, because I feel like offensive line is just, you get so scrutinized early on with no pads because, you know, it's hard to block without pads. So these guys are getting beat by the likes of Rashawn Gary, which, you know, happens a lot. But I'm excited for the pads to finally come on, where these guys can showcase their skills and their blocking opportunity and whatnot. But nice to see some offensive lineman clips. We don't get this too often. This is just a quick clip of Jair Alexander. I thought it was an interesting one, kind of working on his one-hand punch technique on press man, which expect the Packers to be in a lot more press man this year under Jeff Hafley. Not as much as some people say. Like, it's not the only thing they're going to run, but I thought that was a pretty interesting and kind of funny clip to see Jair working on this so intensely. Here's a clip of safety Evan Williams with kicker James Turner coming into the scene as well, kind of working on a ball catching drill. Evan Williams has been very impressive in training camp. He's one of the players that's been pretty surprising so far, considering, you know, 4th round pick, the second safety they selected in this draft. Not that Javon Bullard hasn't been good as well, but Evan Williams, you know, has rotated in at starting safety next to Xavier McKinney as well. They've been rotating a bunch of guys, you know, Bullard, Williams, and today even Anthony Johnson Jr. next to Xavier McKinney. And all these guys have had a ton of ball production. The defensive backfield, the safeties in specific, have been getting a ton of interceptions during training camp so far, and Evan Williams has definitely been part of that. He's been super impressive. Katana Oladapo has yet to return, so Evan Williams definitely stepping up to the plate for the opportunities he's receiving, with another safety being out with injury. So definitely next man up type of mentality there. For the final clip, we have Isaiah McDuffie working on a zone coverage drill here. You see Quay Walker kind of running like an outside release slant. Then you see Raylan Goforth on the right as well, just kind of working on zone coverage for Isaiah McDuffie. You see Anthony Campanile right behind McDuffie. He's been a great addition to this coaching staff on this defense. Anthony Campanile, I feel like he's the addition that this linebacker room definitely needed. And Isaiah McDuffie, you know, through walkthroughs has been the linebacker next to Quay Walker in a nickel set, but during team portions today, it was Edgerrin Cooper, so they're also rotating him in a ton. I mean, it's hard to keep Edgerrin Cooper off the field, but Isaiah McDuffie has definitely stepped up to the plate and has been impressive so far. So that does it for all the clips I have of day 4 of Green Bay Packers training camp. We're 1 day away from when the pads come on, and we'll see more action definitely when the pads come on. I'll also be releasing a video after this one going over the key notes and takeaways from day 4 of training camp, so you don't want to miss that video. Again, turn on post notifications to not miss that. It'll come out probably a little over an hour after this one releases. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below. It's absolutely free to do, and it helps out the channel a ton. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.